Stephen Everly has one experience that no other Republican candidate in Iowa's primary for the 2nd Congressional District seat has. According to him, he got sick and recovered from COVID-19. I brought that up with him to get his perspective on the pandemic. We can't avoid the influence this pandemic has on the election. Campaigning, certainly different because of it. It's a political issue as well, and it could very well be on the agenda in January when the next Congress resumes. What legislation do you support and still think needs to be adopted by Congress?
One, I would like them to do something to unleash the entrepreneurs of the United States, limiting regulations, government, and if we could do nothing more, then give us all a tax holiday instead of printing money and giving out checks, so that people get to spend their own money without flushing it through the sewer of Washington.
You got sick yourself. You're not afraid of being spread to more Americans?
No, I'm not. I will tell you my personal view. I have no knowledge that I'm right or wrong, but it's a virus. If you handle money, the chances are you, if it's on the surface of that money, you've been infected. And I don't care if you're hiding yourself in your house, but if you've paid anybody with money or used your ATM card in a machine, the chances are you have, and you've touched your eyes, your nose, your face, more than likely you're infected. I have a good friend of mine who's self-isolated and done everything necessary to avoid it. He was just diagnosed yesterday that he has the coronavirus. And he's 65 years old, suffers from, he is a cancer survivor. He has got heart issues. He's a diabetic. He has similar things that I did. And difference between him and I was all over the state campaigning when I got sick. He, on the other hand, has been isolated ever since, and he's now has been infected. We have to build what they call herd immunity so that we can protect everyone else, because if the virus doesn't have a host to jump from one person to another, then our elderly can come out and socialize again, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Let's talk about the money aspect of this, because you touched on it a moment ago, because we are seeing trillions of dollars spent in the various relief packages so far, and most Americans have seen the $1,200, maybe more if they've got families, and more money could still be on the way, yet we watch millions of dollars go to corporations, some that don't need it. How should everyday Americans be expected to manage?
This is going to be extremely difficult because people have to work. Most people, they don't have a job, a government job where you get a paycheck, whether you're at home working from home or dictating rules to all the rest of us. But we have truck drivers that are working. Many of them are friends. We have people working in the grocery stores, stocking shelves, average American people. We have plumbers and electricians and carpenters still have to go out and repair things, fix things, and so we have many people that are still gainfully employed, but we need to unleash the American worker and let him have his freedom back. Many of these rules and declarations are not rooted in law, and executive orders don't have the force of law. They are suggestions. We should ask Americans, especially the people that are most vulnerable, to shelter in place, and hopefully, like any great storm, this should pass as well.
So several European countries took the approach to pay 60 to 80% of workers' salaries during the pandemic. Some people say that will make it easier for those economies to recover and more cost effective. What do you think about the United States adopting that kind of strategy?
Somebody, sooner or later, you have to make up that money. You cannot continually printing it. There's a term that I use that's been taught in economic circles for the last 10 to 15 years. It's called the MMT. It's the modern monetary theory, that it doesn't matter if you print money, because as long as you have a strong military, people have to accept it as payment. It never worked for the Roman Empire. It never worked for the Dutch Empire. And it surely didn't work for the Weimar Republic in Germany. In the end, all these great civilizations printed themselves out of existence, making their money worthless. And we are on that direction right now. So what we need to do is lessen the strings of government, allow the population to explore any method by means they can make a living, and unleash entrepreneurs so they can turn this economy back on.
More of my conversation with Stephen Everly. Now our question of the week. What do you think about the different schedules Iowa and Illinois have to restart their economies? Send your answer by email to fortherecord at WHBF.com or respond to this post on Facebook at the Local 4 News WHBF TV page or on my page.